Have you ever wanted to assemble your own computer, choosing just the parts you want and putting it all together in a lit-up case with a glass window? In this video, we'll show you how to do this without any past computer experience. Here is a list of the parts and tools you'll need. Some of these, such as the anti-static wristband and disk drive, are optional. The first thing you'll need is a case. Cases come in a variety of styles and feature sets, including fans and built-in ports. Make sure you get one big enough to hold the motherboard you choose. An optional but good piece of equipment to have while building is an anti-static wristband. This helps prevent damage to the sensitive electronic components through shock when you touch them. Next, install the power supply. Make sure that it will be powerful enough to handle the components you've chosen for your computer. Usually it goes in the top left corner of the case and screws in from the outside. The main consideration for choosing a power level is the graphics card you've chosen. Now put in the motherboard. One side has the ports which will face the back of the tower where you'll plug in the keyboard, mouse, etc. A good way to choose a motherboard is to determine what processor you want and then find a motherboard which will support it. Once it's in place, screw it in securely. Now take the large power plug from the power supply and connect it to the motherboard. There's also often a second, smaller outlet on the motherboard you need to connect as well. The processor is a good thing to add at this point. Unlatch the carriage and gently place it in with the proper orientation. Latch it in again, and then add a small amount of thermal compound if it doesn't already come pre-applied. This will provide a better connection between it and the heatsink, which we will add next. A heatsink will probably come as a bundle with the processor you buy. The purpose of it is to remove the warmth it generates while running to keep it from overheating. After this is in place, insert the memory sticks, or RAM. Each stick only fits one way and then snaps down. A good amount to have is 4 GB. The graphics card attaches in a very similar way. Make sure to buy one that fits your motherboard and snap it in. You may also need to attach power to it depending on what model you choose. Next, insert the hard drive. Secure it to the case and then take one of the power outlets from the power supply to connect to it. You'll also need to attach a cable between it and the motherboard for the data. An optional but nice additional component to add is a disk drive. Oftentimes this will take some involvement with the front panel of the case and then securing it with screws inside. Like with the hard drive, you should then attach power and data cables. Note that in this example an older drive is used which takes an IDE ribbon cable. The newer drives use a cable like the one shown for the hard drive above. Older hard drives also use this type of ribbon cable. Here, the power is attached. Finally, connect the cables from the case to the motherboard. These may include power cables for lighting, fan cables attached either to the motherboard or directly to the power supply, cables for the internal ports, as well as the wires for the power switch and status lights. Motherboards and cases vary in these aspects, so refer to the motherboard manual for your specific situation. Once you're all done, close it back up, plug it in, and the tower is ready to go. This is the point where you can add the keyboard, mouse, and monitor. You'll also need to install an operating system such as Windows or Linux.